Wouldn't be human if you didn't. Kevin Walsh, it's your call.
Thanks, Kevin, and you're right. You get emotional just listening to that story. Thanks so much for sharing it with us. Let me now introduce you to some of this year's Team Fellowship. Tess McGrath, who you know as the co-executive producer of It's Your Call, she's also the co-captain of our team, along with Mary Matheson, who walked in her third walk this year. Also joining us is Diane Karam and Sandra Steppa. They returned to the Philly Walk this year, having completed their first one back in 2006. Ladies, great to have you with us. I have to get reaction. Janae said it's time for us to start training tomorrow. I noticed everybody said, But are you glad you did it this year? Everybody thumbs up to it.
Absolutely.
You just heard of that very emotional story about sisters and how they were walking for their loved ones who they had lost. I know for Sandy and Diane, both of you were walking because you've been touched by it personally. Diane, how about you?
Well, my sister was very fortunate, and so that they caught this very, very early. And if not for the research and the monies raised by people such as ourselves walking and raising all of this money, 5 years ago they would have never found this in her. And she was very fortunate, and so that they found it very, very, very early. And she's very healthy and very well, and she has a great prognosis.
And that's good news. And of course, when your sister is touched by it, Sandy, as you know, it touches you as well. I mean, she may be the one with the disease, but you feel it almost as much as she does.
She's a survivor, 17 years now. So, and I walk, I want to raise the money to find the cure. You know, and
help raise awareness as well. Because when you're out there trying to raise money, both of you, all of us, by asking your friends and talking about your sisters or your relatives or loved ones or people that you meet on the walk, you're kind of raising the public awareness about it as you go along. And it must make you feel really good about that.
It does. Good feeling.
It is a good feeling, and it's one that I know Tessie and Mary have experienced as well from that very first time that Tess said to us, hey, I have an idea. How about if we walk in this year's breast cancer walk to this morning?
I was not there.
Why was it so important to you to do it again this year?
Well, there's a core group of 8 of us, and they say that 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer at some point in their lives, and chances are pretty good that one of us is going to get it. Not to mention the fact that I have 3 sisters, and you know, and everybody knows somebody who's been affected in some way, and if I can give back, why not? Could be me, and one day I'm going to need the help.
I'm going to play that tape for her when it's time to sign up again for next year. And Mary, you're going to be on that distribution list.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you're on your own.
No, it was challenging, but you were glad you did it.
Oh, absolutely. I think the biggest thing I think this year is the training. That I think the first 2 years we trained literally to the 3-day program. You know, we followed it down to the last mile. And this year, through a lot of other things, we didn't do as much. And I think my advice to anybody, train it all the way through. It is time consuming, but it's the most wonderful, wonderful 3 days, I think, that you can do. The pain and everything is nothing. It is just such a humbling, wonderful experience.
And we should be honest with the folks who are watching and considering doing it, or perhaps who have done it. It is challenging. It is physically challenging. I know both of you felt it. We all felt it. But is it a pain that's worth going through?
Absolutely.
For you, did it kind of remind you or keep in your mind that those women who go through breast cancer and have to go through chemo and the treatment, that our walking is really nothing compared to what they're going through?
The pain. No.
And it's not just the women that are actually fighting the cancer, it's all the families that are fighting it with them. There's, you know, it affects so many different layers of people. So, you know, what a blister here or a blister there or a shin splint, you know, it really pales in comparison.
Well, I want to thank you guys for doing it again with me, because one of the ways that I was able to get through it in those physically challenging miles was to have my best friends with me. So I'm going to tell you publicly, thank you very much for doing it. Diane Karam and Sandy Steppa.
My pleasure. We wouldn't miss it.
Of course, I'm going to play that tape again, too. Now, on the other side, we're going to hear from a veteran 3-day walker who makes our walks look like nothing, because she's raised over $1 million for breast cancer and has walked 5,000 miles. So you want to stay with us to meet her. We're also going to find out about the men who are walking and why. For now, though, you can log on to cn8.tv and participate by taking our web poll. We're asking if you in some way have been affected by breast cancer. When we come back, we'll have more information and answer your questions as well. Stay with us.
Transportation for It's Your Call guests provided by Preferred Car and Limousine.
Walking for the cure, hoping to help people, and a friend of mine is a survivor, and I lost a dear friend in April to breast cancer.
Today I'm walking for my mom. She's my best friend and my hero. She's a breast cancer survivor for a year now.
Well, my aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, so she's going through chemo.
I'm walking for in memory of my wife's mother. She passed away prior to me and my wife getting together, and I just never got a chance to say thank you to her, so I'm walking today to remember that.
I'm walking in honor of our sister, Mary Caniglio. She's a survivor, 4 years, so that's why we're walking. And for all the other men and women that have breast cancer.
This is my second time.
And she told me a year ago that she was going to do it, and I said, I don't know. She said, you'll thank me so much in the end.
She's thanking me already. I'm walking for my daughter, Karen. She has breast cancer, and that's the main goal that I'm here. And for everyone else that, the families that go through it, because they're affected just as much as the person with the cancer is. But she's my main objective for being here, and God bless her.
You're watching It's Your Call with Lynn Doyle. Go Margaritaville!
Those are just a few of the reasons why so many walked in the Philadelphia Breast Cancer 3-Day. Welcome back, everyone, to the special edition of It's Your Call, where we all are talking about the 3-day that took place in Philadelphia. I walked with my team, Team Fellowship, and we had the opportunity to meet a lot of inspirational people along those 60 miles, including our next guest. Barbara Jo Kirschbaum completed her 5,000th mile. Yes, 5,000 miles that she's walked for breast cancer when she completed the 2008 Philadelphia 3-day. And get this, she is 70 years old. She's been walking for breast cancer all over the country since 1998. She's raised more than $1 million for the cause so far, and she's not done yet. Hey, Barbara Jo, how are you?
Hi, I'm here.
Oh, congratulations. How do you feel today?
Thank you. Actually, I can't get over how well I physically feel. Thank you.
We can't get over the fact that you've raised $1 million and have walked 5,000 miles. So many times we hear people complain about just one 60-miler. How do you do it? Where do you get the inspiration?
Well, I think it's just something that it was nothing I set out to do, and it's just something that has evolved, year after year.
Is there one particular reason that you did get involved back in 1998?
Yeah, the reason then was it was right after I turned 60, and I had just finished walking the LA Marathon, and I read about this since I'm from Southern California, and I read about the very first long-distance walk, and it sounded like doing 3 marathons back-to-back, and I thought, well, now I wonder if I can do that. So that's how it all began.
Now, I see that you have the placard down your back, and it has the buttons on it and the names of various individuals. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the banner that I wear really is a tribute to my sponsors and to the people they want me to honor. There are blue ribbons and white ribbons, and those are the names of all my sponsors. And then there are pink ribbons on the banner, and those are the names that the sponsors have asked me to walk in honor of.
Well, we walked behind you, and we were all inspired by you. And I'll tell you what, it was hard to keep up with you, girlfriend.
Well, I just keep up my slow, steady pace. I'm sort of the hare and the tortoise. I just kind of keep on going and know how to pace myself so that I can finish, every day of every walk.
Now, do you train between walks, or are the walks enough for you?
Generally, well, it depends how close I'm doing events. If I'm doing them every week, I just do a little weight training in between. I don't do any particular walking.
Okay.
If they're more than 3 weeks apart, I might walk 5 miles, but I don't have to do, 18, 20 kind of major training.
Oh, I guess there's just not enough hours in the day for that. Well, I have to say, you are an inspiration. Thank you so much, and keep up the good work.
Thank you. You too, and keep up what you're doing for the cause.
I sure will. Thank you, Barbara Jo Kirschbaum. All right, now, she is an inspiration. If you're sitting out there and you're saying, there's no way I can do this, think twice about it. She's 70. She's been doing it for 10 years.